Avery, this is Jared McDonald with the Daily News here in Bowling Green. First of all, getting the season started, I believe exhibition on Saturday. I guess how exciting is it just to get to this point after everything that you guys have had to go through the last year and a half?
It's hard to put into words, honestly, how excited we are. We've been building, since last July for this moment. So we're just really excited to get on the field and play somebody other than ourselves and kind of see where we're at. And I think we're going to look really well. So.
Hey, Avery. First off, congratulations, senior year. By the way, I'm Sean. I'm with the Herald. I'll be kind of covering soccer for you guys this semester. What are your goals going into this season?
Obviously, the overall goal is we want to come back with that trophy in April. It's been a big goal of ours for my whole time here, and I think that this year we have the squad to do that, and I think it's very achievable. We also want to just kind of keep building on the momentum that we've been creating since July. It's been an awesome ride. There's been some ups and downs, but overall we've just really kept chugging along and we keep crushing it. So hopefully that carries over into our games coming up.
Avery, Jared with the Daily News here again. You mentioned coming home with that trophy. It's something, the program hasn't won a conference tournament game since 2013, I believe. Last season, you guys were able to have your first winning record since 2016, when the last time that the conference tournament before 2019 season. I guess, is that a step in the right direction, do you feel like, for this program to doing that?
Yes. I mean, last year we had an awesome year. We were really competitive. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way that we thought it was going to by any means. But we just kept building on that, and we have a lot of returning starters this year, which is extremely exciting for us. And all the new pieces that we added are college ready, and they're hungry just like the returners are. So I think bringing home that trophy is very achievable for us.
Hey, Avery, it's Sean again with the Herald. Obviously, like you mentioned, you have a lot of new pieces coming into this coming season. Did you feel any sort of leadership role coming into this and coming off of the cancellation of the previous season?
Yeah, I'm actually a captain of the team, so I kind of have a big role in making sure that we're all on the same page and kind of making sure that everything goes as planned. Obviously, a lot of things are out of our control, but Amber and I both took on roles that we're trying to keep the team, going in the right direction, keeping them positive, and just keeping everybody excited and ready for whenever our time came.
You guys did have that one close scrimmage. I believe it was October 23rd against UAB. There was some weather that kind of made it a weird day for you guys. But what did you learn about the team, just from that one exhibition match?
Honestly, I think that one exhibition match kind of summed up our 2020. It was pretty crazy. We got to play 45 minutes. We had, maybe 2.5-hour delay at halftime. There was rain. It was wet. And I think we just learned that we're going to fight no matter what the circumstances are. We're going to put our best foot forward, and we're going to be a tough team to beat if we follow all that.
Yeah, so kind of going off of that, what are some of your expectations kind of going into this first exhibition match?
It's not going to be perfect. I think we know that. It's going to be our first game since October. I think just in this first game, getting our feet on the ground and feeling out where we're at and being competitive as always. And of course, we're going for the win. And I think that is something that we should come away with.
You've said that you've had a lot of experience back and college-ready players coming in. From that exhibition match in October and then through all the workouts and everything and last season, what do you see as the biggest strength of this team and maybe some areas that you guys want to work on improving?
I think the biggest strength for our team is how hungry we are. There's just a different vibe at practice, and everybody is here and ready to compete and wants to win that title. I think areas of improvement for us is just kind of letting things happen, kind of accepting that things may not go as planned or may not be exactly as scheduled. We are a team that likes to know exactly what's going on when, where, time, all of that. So I think just embracing the change and embracing that things are not going to be perfect will be an area that we will continue to develop.
Avery, you kind of mentioned that you guys are hungry and that you're trying to sort of embrace the change and everything. Because of everything and because of different changes going on with COVID, have you noticed any difference in morale or just like the dynamics between the team?
No, honestly, something that we pride ourselves on is being close, being connected. Everybody from the seniors all the way down to the freshmen, we are extremely close. And that's something that we tell recruits all the time and something that is a huge part of our identity. And through all these trials with COVID and everything, I think that we've just gotten closer and the morale has always been pretty positive. And I think no, nothing really has changed for us. It may have changed in a positive way, actually.
Anything else for Avery? All right, we'll have Amber in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Avery. Amber, this is Jared McDonald with the Daily News here in Bowling Green. You guys get started on Saturday with an exhibition match. It seems like it's been forever since you guys have played. I know the one in October, but still, I guess how exciting is that just to get the season underway?
We're all super excited. You can tell like how everyone feels at practice, like the intensity. Everyone's so excited. Everyone's coming out hard. Everyone's just so excited to be back together. And like it's finally like time that like we actually have something to end on. Like we have practiced all week and now we have a game this coming week. So it's really nice to have all the emotions back and ready to get started again.
Hey, Sean Snyder here with the College Heights Herald. You mentioned your excitement to get back. What has been one of the most exciting things, kind of besides coming all back together since getting the season back going?
Basically just like having people to play against that aren't just ourselves. Like Avery said, like it was tough in the fall because like you want to play against like other people and grow that way, but like we all had to figure out a different way of how to grow playing it together all the time. And so that's the big thing is like actually having some like different competition and like just surprises happening all the time.
Playing against yourselves or that exhibition match in October, and with some of the experience coming back, I guess, what do you see as on the field being some of the strengths of this group?
Like Avery said, we're all hungry. Like our technical, everyone's coming back even better, fit, ready to play. And I feel like we're all clicking together really well. And like, I just hope that it stays that way and we can just keep going up. But everyone's just super excited to just get back together, like I said, and just play.
I know that Avery kind of touched on this. I know that you guys both kind of share leadership roles within the team. What sort of things have you guys done to sort of keep the team together, even though, like you said, it's a different season, obviously. What have you guys done to kind of keep that mesh together?
Mm-hmm. In the fall, we would always like constantly try to do some things where like we obviously can't all be together, but try to do things like separate that like we're all trying to grow together. In the spring, even we had like competitions to where like each person was kind of hold to their individual self. Then this spring, we've been doing like little activities where like one day we did yoga, another day we did like just like fun games, but like it was just us on a Zoom call. And so like it was just like nice to like still see everyone, but like we're obviously all can't be together in a room. So that it's going really well with all of that and like it's fun.
I'm gonna throw in here they did a fight song challenge where they had to do the fight song to the melody of a different song. They did that on Zoom. It was pretty fun. And then they also did Most Likely To. I wasn't a part of that, so I have no idea how that went, but they did some awards of Most Likely To. And so they're just trying to find ways to connect with each other since they can't really physically be together except for when we're training.
Amber, Jared again, for you personally, I guess what's been your biggest area that you've tried to improve this extremely long off season during?
My area of improvement was basically trying to like make sure that I helped myself like preventatively from getting hurt, mental status. Like that was over the winter break. My main thing was like trying to mentally prepare myself for this year, because this year's not going to be how it always is. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. And so like that was a huge thing. And whenever one would ask me what I was doing, it was trying to make sure that I was preventative and my mentality would stay the same. And like that's my goal, is to stay mentally, because it's not going to be fun like with the mental stuff, like we all know it. So that's my big thing that I improved on, and I'm ready to keep growing with that.
Hey, Sean again here with the Herald. Sorry, I'm blanking. Obviously, I kind of gave a similar question to Avery. You guys have a few new recruits this season, a few new freshmen. Do you feel that moving the season to the spring has helped you guys, since they now have longer to condition?
Yeah, I feel like because it got moved to the spring, we were all able to get closer faster, and like we were kind of like, you're always pushed together real quick, but like we all got to learn what everyone's strengths are, what everyone's weaknesses are, how to help them get better. And like I feel like we all became even more closer than, like Avery said, we're like a very close team. We've always been like that, but because of like the extra, I guess, semester of like getting to learn about each other, it really helped us grow as a group.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, Amber.
Thanks.
Amber, good luck.
All right. Questions for Jason?
Hey, Coach. Jared with the Daily News. Hope you are doing well since we last spoke. Kind of the first question I asked those two. It's been a while since you guys have played. I know you had that exhibition in October, but how exciting is it to just have a schedule set and I guess ready to go now?
Pretty fired up. I think you could feel the vibe from Avery and Amber, but we're all pretty fired up. And I think, there's always a silver lining to everything, right? And so the pandemic's been horrible. I certainly don't want to make light of it, but it also shows you things that maybe you've taken for granted, and things that maybe you need to find a way to appreciate more. And so the opportunity to play was something that was taken from us during the pandemic, and now we have that opportunity back. And I think there's this just sense of gratefulness for my staff and for the players, that we get the opportunity to do what we love to do that we weren't sure we were going to get to do. And just pretty blessed and grateful for the support that we have from people like Lily Ann, and our trainer, Sarah Herdish, and our coaching staff and our administration and university, to put us in the place where we can actually do the thing that we love to do. And so I think just a general sense of obviously excitement, but also just gratefulness and appreciation for the little things in life that these kids have been playing soccer for so long, they never imagined a 8-month stretch or 10-month stretch where they just wouldn't be able to do it. So.
Hey, Coach. Quick question. Can you try to put into words, what was that feeling like to see that you guys, you might have already touched on this a little bit, but you had that set schedule and you knew for sure it was going to happen. There was nothing totally confirmed up until it all totally was. Can you kind of put that feeling into words of just what it means to actually get the season?
Well, it's still very much day to day. So, we have a schedule set and we're excited about it. And I told the team just last week, I said, I'm 90% sure we're going to have a season, because it could still be pulled out from under. I mean, it's possible, right? I mean, it was pulled out from under baseball, softball, and basketball last year, right? So I said, I'm 90% sure. I said, having said that, I'm not very sure that we're going to get to play every game, whether it's because of something that happens with COVID or weather conditions or something to that effect. So we're taking it day to day. And so I think the biggest thing is control the controllables. I mean, we as a program, our players and our staff have to control everything that we can control, and then realize that there are some things that are just out of our control. We have to be flexible with those things.
Coach, you mentioned weather. That brings me back to October 23rd when you guys had that exhibition against UAB. I believe that was the only exhibition against another team that you guys have had in the 2020-21 school year. I guess, what did you learn about your team from that day?
I learned that we need to have opportunities to be together as a group. Obviously, we took some things from the game X's and O's. We looked at the film and we made some corrections, but more than anything, we had that like a 2.5 hour rain delay during the game, and we were all stuffed up inside the press box, the softball press box. It's a pretty small space, and it was the first time that we had actually physically been together off the training field, off the game field, since February. And you would have thought, I would have thought if a rain delay had happened, that there would have been some like worry and anxiety and all this stuff. But there was just like a hubbub in the press box, and the players were just it was the first time that the whole team had been together. And so they really, really enjoyed that time, and it went by. I mean, it was 2.5 hours, but it went by like that. And they were doing, they were just hanging out, something that they haven't been able to do for so long. And so it just made me realize, and I learned that they need those opportunities for connection with each other. And so, again, it's hard to do that in person right now. So we're trying to find ways to give them opportunities to connect.
Coach, I want to go and jump into the team a little bit here. It was announced earlier this week that Shelby Helton was added to the team. What do you think she's going to bring to the team this coming season?
Yeah, it was. We felt like as a staff that it was really, really, really important to add another goalkeeper to our roster if there was any way possible of doing it. She is an awesome, awesome kid, and there were so many hoops that she had to jump through to be a part of our team with just normal tryout stuff, but also add to that all the COVID protocols. And her commitment level and determination to be a part of our squad was something that really caught the eye of our staff. And we knew that this was a player that we needed to have on our team. Obviously, she's a goalkeeper. And again, we were really concerned with only having 2 goalkeepers in the middle of a pandemic. Obviously if one went down with an injury or one got sick and the other one was quarantined, we would potentially then lose both of our goalkeepers. So, I've been really honest with Shelby the whole time. She's an awesome kid. But we needed it to some degree an insurance plan, and having 3 goalkeepers gives us some sense of peace of mind and insurance in the event that the pandemic takes out some of our players.
Coach, have you guys had anybody opt out for the season or not come back that you expected to have in this season?
Yeah, some of our seniors have decided not to play. I don't think that they necessarily opted out. It just didn't fit. It just didn't fit their plans for moving forward with their academic careers and their careers after college. So we lost a couple of players when we moved to the spring because the soccer just didn't work out with what they were trying to do academically and career-wise. So again, they didn't really opt out, but Victoria Mayo is a senior we lost in the shuffle, and Ashley Leonard as well.
Coach, obviously, as you mentioned, you had a couple seniors that couldn't make this season. How do you feel about your freshmen coming into this upcoming season?
Yeah, the freshmen have been extraordinary. And again, I try to find silver linings in everything that's happened. And obviously, any spring sport has the luxury of, their freshmen getting acclimated and transitioned to college and to their team before their season starts. Whereas the fall sports like volleyball and football and soccer, the freshmen are thrown into the fire. And they've got to perform right out of the gate. And I think that's one of the reasons that you see in football so many freshmen are redshirted, because they're just not ready. And so now our freshmen have had more time to develop and transition to college and transition to the team. I also think because we didn't play games that there was a little bit less performance pressure on them. And so they were a little bit calmer and more relaxed. And they've really blossomed. I mean, they've done incredibly well. And there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to have several freshmen immediately impact our program on day one on Saturday. Now, having said that, every team in the country has had that same luxury. So, in theory, everyone's freshmen are a little more acclimated and adjusted to helping their teams. But I think that this freshman class is pretty special. And I think the added time has been a bonus for them.
Coach, I know Western Kentucky takes a lot of pride in its athletics and winning conference championships and all that stuff. It's been a while since the soccer program's won a conference tournament match, I believe since 2013. I guess how much pressure do you feel to reach that step and have some success, and what's it going to take to get there and do that?
Yeah, it's the championships have been a little elusive to us, and it's not really about winning a conference tournament game. It's about winning a conference championship and going to the NCAA tournament. And so, to me, it's not really the hurdle of can we win a game, it's can we win the whole thing. And that's the way I'm looking at it. I mean, it's a big picture thing. We've won several championships as far as regular season titles back in the old Sun Belt days, but that has been elusive to us to win a conference tournament. And it's something that I think our players are excited to, there's going to be some players that are going to be pioneers. They're going to be the first ones to do it. And I think that this group is hungry, like the players said. And I think that they have an opportunity to do something that nobody before them has done and leave a legacy behind. And again, that's kind of the vision of the program, is to be a perennial team in Conference USA and to win conference championships. So that's the vision of the program. That's the direction we're headed, and we're looking to build towards that.
Coach, I kind of want to backtrack just a little bit. I know that you mentioned that you feel that the freshmen are a little more acclimated since you did have that extra time to train them. Since moving to the spring, have you reached out to any sports or any coaches that usually coach in the spring, and did they help at all, or what was that like?
That's actually an awesome question. I said back in the fall that I was going to talk to some lacrosse coaches to see kind of what they did with their periodization and getting ready for the season. And then I never followed through with it. So I'd be lying if I said I did, but I've been, I think our coaches community here at WKU is pretty close. I mean, I'm in constant contact with the, all the other coaches. I talk pretty regularly with the volleyball staff to see how they're doing and what adjustments they've made. And obviously it's not really anything new in the sense that we're just going on the field and competing. And the difference is that the falls usually are competition and our focus is on winning, and the springs usually are developmental phase. And again, it's just been flip-flop. So the falls was our developmental phase, and now, our focus is on trying to bring home a championship.
Coach, I know you said some of these players are going to be pioneers and stuff like that, but 20 seasons of Western Kentucky soccer this year, this is the 20th, for the last 19 with you, I guess, how would you sum up that entire experience of being here at Western Kentucky with the soccer program?
Wow. I guess I'll just say something that I tell recruits all the time when they ask me about the experience and the atmosphere here, is that, I've been really fortunate. I mean, blessed to be the only coach in the history of the program here. And so I have an attachment, a sentimental attachment to this program that not very many coaches can say in any sport at any level, because I was the one that started it. I think the ownership and the sense of belonging to this university and this place is pretty immense with me, and I think, Coach Travis Hudson with volleyball talks about it all the time, but there's this, I mean, the WKU spirit's real, and I feel it, and probably feel it stronger because I've been here for so long and started something that I think is pretty special. And so I don't know that I can even sum it up in words, but it's a weird 20th year because we were supposed to be celebrating it in the fall. And it's going to be different because we're going to be at 20% capacity at our soccer stadium. So we're going to be limited in the things that we can do to commemorate or honor 20 years. But we're going to do it just the same. And, Lily Ann will probably share this with you guys down the road, but we're going to do a 20th anniversary team. It's going to be 20 players are going to be honored to commemorate 20 years. What we think is the best 20 players in the program. And I think that's going to be pretty cool. I think we're going to try, again, I kept talking about connecting our players. We're going to try to do some kind of Zoom call with those 20 players and our team to make it something special. But it's a pretty neat feeling, and it's hard to imagine because you guys will learn, man. It goes in the blink of an eye. I mean, you tell me 20 years, I'm like, dang, have I been here that long? Has it really been 20 years? But no, it's I can't really put it into words, but just a lot of gratefulness for the opportunity to be here and be here for as long as I can, because that's not normal in sport. And so just really grateful.
Coach, first off, congratulations on 20 years. That is an incredible accomplishment. I kind of want to go back to the, like you mentioned, this is a different season. You're seeing a lot of different elements. You mentioned back in fall that you guys were issuing daily surveys for the team that take in the mornings. However, they were optional. They weren't mandatory. Have you made those mandatory, and what other COVID restrictions have you guys acclimated to?
Yeah, so we're being, I think HIPAA laws prevent us from making that mandatory because we're asking for health information from our kids daily. And even though they're part of the soccer program, I think we feel like we don't want to infringe on their medical rights, I guess. And so we can't really make that mandatory. Having said that, what we've been trying to do is incentivize them to fill out the surveys. And the cool thing is we've had really, really close to 100% participation since we've been back this spring. So, it's funny because we're going on the road on Saturday, and the only way for them to make their meal choices was to fill out the survey. So there's ways to do it. So, but no, it's really helpful, not only from they fill it out in the morning. So hopefully maybe catch, if there's something going on with them related to COVID or another illness, of maybe catching it in the morning before they go out and possibly be around a bunch of people. But also it's been really, really helpful in monitoring our kids' training loads, because they put stuff on there like their muscle fatigue and their soreness and how much sleep they got and things like that. So it really helps us with their training loads. So like there might be a specific player who I know is really, really sore. And so maybe it allows me to modify their particular training environment for the day. So yeah, it's been great.
Sorry. I know we've talked about some of the younger kids and some of the goalkeeper group, but is there anybody else that you're expecting to maybe take that next step, or that we should keep our eye on, or I guess anybody that you have extremely high expectations for entering this year specifically?
Man, I always hate to do that because then I feel like there's players that I'm leaving out. But I think really, really excited to see what Lyric and Avery, Lyric Schmidt and Avery Jacobson bring to our back line. They were recruited as center backs, as central players, but we moved them. We had other center backs, and so they played on the outsides the last few years. And so now they're moving centrally to kind of be the defensive spine of the team. And they're natural center backs. And so, and they really have a good rapport with each other. So that's going to be exciting to watch, I think, what they bring to the game. Obviously, Amber is a tremendous player in the midfield. That is a box to box type player that we're looking. She said she's working on her mental health. I think one of the things we asked her to do is be more aggressive in the attack as far as X's and O's, and try to create some more scoring chances for herself and her teammates. And then there's some freshmen and sophomores that are really taking some strides in their game over this time period. I think as far as freshmen go, I mean, Ellie Belcher, hometown girl, I think there's a pretty good chance that she'll start in the back for us. She is a tremendous athlete and an amazing kid. And so I think that's a player that the community can get excited about because she's a local product. We have a girl who will compete for starting position, but will certainly make an impact in the attacking area of the field. Brenda Michaels, she's from upstate New York, and she has this. You guys have, being in the media, you guys have probably seen it, but she has an Instagram account called Skill Challenges, and she puts out a skill challenge for the world every single day, and she has like 80,000 followers or something incredible like that. And she's a really, really crafty player, and she's a freshman. And then Katie, some rising sophomores. Katie Irwin has made incredible strides in her game. Ansley Kate has made great strides in her game. Sydney Ernst, Lucy Lyon, both made great strides in their game over this break. And then another player who's made great strides is Taylor Stanley. She had I think limited time for us as a freshman and went home last summer and played for a team back up in Michigan and just became a huge attacking threat for them. And I think she brings that back. She's a really, really crafty player. I know I'm naming a lot of players. And then Lily Rumos, a kid from Nashville, who's a really good little player that will play out on the wing for us. And again, I know I'm leaving a bunch of players out, so I even hate to say it because regardless of who I say, I'm going to leave somebody out. But I think we have a team that top to bottom, this might be the strongest team we've ever had here in 20 years. I mean, usually you have, I hate to use the word mid-major, but as a mid-major program with 25 players, usually have, 10 or 12 players, and then the roster really drops off after that. And this year, I feel like 1 through 25 is really, really good. And I feel like there's any given time, I feel like anyone on the roster could make an impact for us.
Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you had 2 players who tore their ACLs during the previous season. Just with conditioning and everything, how are they doing, and how's the team doing as a whole? Have you had any more injuries, or is everyone ready to go and healthy?
Yeah, the 2 players that had torn their ACL are back and active and released for full contact. We've had a couple of minor nicks and knacks through our preseason the last week and a half. But generally speaking, we're entering the spring pretty healthy.
Jared, if you don't have anything, I just have kind of like one quick final question. You can just feel the energy between you and the teammates that we got to speak to today. The vibe is great. You guys seem excited. You mentioned that they're hungry. It's one of the best teams. Do you have any just like final thoughts going into this? And another quick question is, what game are you guys most excited to play this coming season?
That's an awesome question. We have, it's a limited schedule. I mean, usually we have a 20-game schedule, and I think it's 13 games plus 2 exhibitions, so 15 games total. So it's a little bit of a limited schedule. 4 of the 7 games, non-conference games that we had, are against teams that were NCAA tournament participants in 2019, and all of them are coming here to play, which is a little unfortunate, again, that we're at reduced capacity, but it's pretty neat. I mean, we've built a pretty darn good schedule. I mean, Xavier was 17-4 in 2019 and won the Atlantic Sun. Louisville went to the second round of the NCAA tournament in 2019. Center College, even though they're Division III, was in a Division III Final Four 2 or 3 years ago. And then Lipscomb was another NCAA tournament team that won the Atlantic Sun. So we've got a pretty good schedule. To be able to single out one game would be hard. But you know how excited our kids are going to be for an in-state rivalry against Louisville, and the opportunity to have them at home is fantastic. And I'm only talking about non-conference. I mean, once we get to conference, they divided us into East and West divisions, and so we only have 6 games instead of 10, and so every game has added significance. And so it's just gonna be a fun ride.